Welcome back to the Cowboys fans. I'm Tom Downey, and today we're diving deep into a position that doesn't get talked about nearly enough but deserves your attention: the Cowboys' defensive tackle room. This group could quietly be one of the most concerning areas on the roster heading into the season, and today we're breaking down each player, their role, and whether they truly belong on this team. I picked defensive tackle as the second position group to evaluate after running back because, frankly, I have some real concerns here. There's no denying the defensive line has some intriguing pieces, but when you look beyond the top name or two, the depth is thin, the talent drop-off is steep, and the overall reliability is questionable. Now, before we go player by player, I want to take a second and address the channel battle going on this month among all the chat sports shows. Believe it or not, we're behind Steelers Talk, which is sitting in 5th place. That's just not acceptable, Cowboys Nation. So, if you want more in-depth breakdowns like this, all I ask is you hit that share button. Share this show with a fellow fan and help us close that gap. All right, back to business. Let's talk defensive tackle depth. At the top of the list, it's clear that Osa Odigizua stands head and shoulders above the rest. He's the anchor of this group, just landed a well-deserved contract extension, and there's zero chance he's not on the roster. His $6.25 million cap hit for this year is actually very manageable. It's structured to be affordable now and scale up later. Statistically, he continues to progress. While his sack numbers hit a career high, he also improved his pressure rate and QB hits, metrics that don't always show up in the box score, but are vital for evaluating a DT's impact. With a new defensive scheme under Matt Eberflus, who really emphasizes the three-technique position, Osa could be even more productive this year, and that's exactly what the Cowboys are counting on. Then we come to Mazi Smith, and this is where the optimism starts to fade a little. Let's get one thing straight. Mazi isn't getting cut. The cap hit, combined with the dead money that would be created, makes that a non-starter. But this year is critical. The flashes were there last season, especially in the Giants and Falcons games, where he held his ground well against the run. But flashes aren't enough from a former first-round pick. He wasn't asked to do much in terms of pass rush under Dan Quinn, but that will likely change under Eberflus. The Cowboys need him to take a massive step forward. The guy hasn't even had a healthy, consistent offseason yet. Rookie year, he was buried in the pre-draft whirlwind. Last year, he had shoulder surgery. And now again, he's learning a brand new defensive system, his third in as many years. That's a brutal ask for any young player, especially one in the trenches. Still, the excuses end here. If Mazi doesn't show improvement in 2024, it's fair to start asking the tough questions. Next up is Solomon Thomas, a name that might not excite fans, but provides much-needed veteran depth. Signed away from the Jets, Thomas reunites with his former D-line coach and joins the Cowboys on a very manageable 2-year deal. At $2.72 million against the cap, he's a stable backup likely slotting in behind Osa at the 3-tech spot. He's bounced around the league from the 49ers to the Raiders to the Jets, and while he's never truly lived up to his top 3 draft pick status, he's carved out a niche as a rotational interior lineman. Don't expect him to be a starter, but in obvious passing situations, or when Osa needs a breather, Thomas can get in and make a few plays. The concern, of course, is what happens if Osa goes down. Then your defensive tackle room becomes one of the weakest in the entire NFL. That's not hyperbole. That's reality. Let's talk rookies. Jay Toya out of UCLA was taken in the 7th round and fits the classic run-stuffing mold. He's massive, over 340 pounds, and clearly drafted to clog the interior and help against the run. These kinds of players typically don't play every down, but if you can get 20-25 good snaps from him per game, that's a win. Think of him as a nose tackle in a rotation, not someone who will disrupt the pocket, but someone who can eat double teams and free up linebackers. He's cheap, he's got no guaranteed money, so he's a classic boom or bust project. That brings us to Tommy Aking-Bassett out of Maryland, also a 7th rounder and similarly inexpensive. He offers more athletic upside than Toya, and maybe flashes as a developmental 3 technique. Still, this is another guy who probably ends up on the practice squad unless he completely dominates camp. Another recent addition is Perrion Winfrey, brought in from the UFL. This is a second-chance signing. Winfrey had some off-field issues, but brings traits you can work with: quickness, burst, and college production at Oklahoma. But at under 300 pounds, he's more of a penetrator than a block eater, which means he's fighting for that final depth spot or a practice squad role. And then there's Denzel Daxon, the International Pathway Program player. Because of his status, he doesn't count toward the 90-man roster and will automatically get a free practice squad spot. So he's not in the cut conversation, he's almost certainly stashed for development. Lastly, there are a few names who may kick inside occasionally, like Marshawn Nealand or Peyton Turner. But let's not pretend they're going to carry serious reps at DT. Guys like Ernest Brown might see the field late in preseason games, but they aren't real contenders to make the final 53. So where does that leave us? Honestly, I'm not thrilled. Beyond Osa, this group is a mix of unproven talent, aging rotational guys, and late-round flyers. Maisie is a question mark. There's no reliable nose tackle depth. We're in the exact same situation we were in last year, hoping one of these bottom-of-the-roster guys will emerge, and scrambling in August when they don't. Maybe the Cowboys can still make a move. Free agents like Linval Joseph or Maurice Hurst are floating around, but none of them are game changers. You might look at trade targets like Zach Pickens or Shai Tuttle, but again, these are marginal upgrades at best. The harsh truth is this: if you wait until late July to fix a hole, your choices are already dried up. Thanks for watching today's breakdown on the Cowboys' defensive tackle situation. If you're concerned like I am, or if you still have hope for some of these guys, let me know in the comments. This position group will make or break the Cowboys' run defense, and right now, there are more questions than answers. Stay tuned.